Hello and welcome to the Quiver channel. I am Jason, your host. I hope you are okay. Is the new Labour Nazis? I have to tell you that in my entire life, I don't think I've ever accused anyone of being Nazi. I don't think I've ever gone down that path of argument, because you pretty much lose it when you do. I'm asking, is the new Labour Nazi? I've seen the memes, I've seen the pictures on Twitter and that about it. So let's look at this situation. We all know how a certain German party and movement treated disabled people. So let's have a quick look at it. First point of fact. And we're going to deal with this, So first of all, over the past 6 weeks, the Cabinet, and yes, it has been the Cabinet, has leaked parts of their Green Paper. This wasn't rumours. This wasn't some junior people. This was a concerted, intelligent, strategic, manipulative, some would call Machiavellian approach. And they sent out these little excerpts. We know they were actually excerpts from the Green Paper because they're freaking word for word from the one that was announced a couple of days ago. They released it to all their friends in the newspapers to do their own little spin on it. At the same time, they were releasing a massive amount of trash talk and destruction and saying everything's disabled people's fault, that we're ruining the economy, we're stopping things being built, we're stopping the boost to economy, it's all our fault. So that's the first part they did, which caused a massive amount of damage, stress. Remember, the fear of the unknown is one of the worst. And you start triggering all these disabled people, all these mentally ill people, and sending out things that will say that mental health stuff is no longer going to be covered. People are going to lose their disability. And people are just hanging on by their bare hands to the idea that maybe this isn't all true. This is just rumours after all. We have to wait until the Green Paper comes out. So that's the first part they did. They primed the entire country. They weren't checking to see whether we'd accept it. They didn't make any real changes. They were actually just priming us to be as tense, as close to nervous breakdowns, harm as possible. The clickbait titles, the amount of people accusing people, having a go at Motability components, having a go at everything else, the whole thing was orchestrated in a very thingy to turn the country against disabled people. And then when it went, then we take the piece where it came out. And if you watch the speech from Liz, as she fucking stood there and spoke, and you turn the sound down, do you know who it reminded me of? The speeches of Adolf Hitler. His maneuvers, his hands, the way he would, the anger and in his voice and the passion and everything, and always angling these things. And the way she did her speech, you can see it. If you watch it, it's terrifying. The way she actually did the speech. And the way it was like, it was really, really. And all in this little coat of, we're doing the moral thing. We're getting people back into work. All the while, hiding out the points that basically the new criteria will mean that at least 1 million people on disability, because we don't have 4 points in this section, which you have to count. Our points are spread all across the board, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, which still comes together as being severely disabled. I am still classed as severely disabled. So they do the speech. So that's the second part. The speech that will basically remove most people from the PIP and that. Oh, it'll save them money, yes, it will. And then you have the aftermath of people already giving up on, becoming so close to suicidal that they just don't have any fight, and they just give up and just say, well, may as well end my life now. The amount of people I've seen, and they're not just people who are saying these things, they actually mean it. They've given up. They don't want to fight. They don't want to live in a country where disabled people are treated like this. They fight every day just to get out of fucking bed, and now they ostracize those people that are angry about the amount of money spent on and all the bullshit coming out of everywhere. So yeah, that's the second part. And then let's factor in 2 more parts. The first is her mentioning that people under the age of 22 are going to be removed from the benefit system, basically. But they'll be offered jobs in the military. They can go to war. Yes, they've said that. The same person that says they will be offered places in the military. Now let's add another footnote on that. Curiously, the new assisted dying rules will now include you being able to use male mental health as a reason, and there will be situations and circumstances where you don't have to have a court enacted body to make a decision on it. So what have we done? Well, it pretty much makes Adolf Hitler look quite inefficient. I mean, he built all those camps. He had all those men sorted out and all that. He had to use part of his armies and that to deal with all this stuff. Labour has found a way to do it where we'll end our own lives, where we will get so depressed and so belittled by our own society, seen as scroungers and people taking the mickey in that we will actively walk into the gas chamber ourselves. I know that's a horrific thought, but look at what's happened this month. The 5.5 to 6 billion that they want to cut from thingy. And remember something very important. But I'm going to talk about it in the next video. This is the first video. So there's going to be one video comes on after it, and that's going to be basically around why doing this is such a financial, stupid, moronic thing. So yeah, I'm not going to call them Nazis. I'm going to let other people decide based on what I've just said. Do your own research. The way they've acted and the way they've done this, they're far better. Oh my God. Adolf Hitler could have learned a few lessons. The SS could have learned a few lessons from the way the DWP, hide data, and manipulate things. I never thought I'd be doing a video like this. It's a good job I don't use the algorithm. Bye bye for now.